Good morning, everybody. Good morning, the world. Good morning, Africa. Good morning, America. This is Chief Obdike and your co-host, Joel Spears.
How are you?
Good morning, sir.
Good morning to you.
Welcome to the New Harbor Studio, folks. Hello, how you doing? We are, let's talk about it. Apparently, there's a lot of issues and a lot of problems. And so there is. We need to talk about it. If we don't talk about it, a lot of us will never know what's going on. So here we are, ready to talk to you about a number of things. Economics. Is that, that's not Trump calling, huh?
Yeah.
Well, anyway.
Just put him on hold.
Put him on hold. Yeah, right. Good morning to all my veterans. As a U.S. Army veteran, I salute you. God bless you wherever you are. Take good care. Stay safe. Joel?
Yes, sir.
A lot of talk. A lot of stuff.
A lot of drama.
A lot of drama, a lot of action. Here we go. We got economics. Well, there's so many jobs that is disappearing from the federal government. More than 270,000 people. Here's your ticket, bye. You ain't doing nothing anyway, so
Well,
what's going on?
thinning the herd. I mean, if you've ever worked in private...
Thinning the herd?
Yes. If you ever worked in private industry...
Thinning the herd.
Yeah. Those of us who've worked in private
Skimming
industry...
the milk.
Government has to, learn how to stay within its means.
Just like people.
Yeah. So, it's tragic when anybody loses their job.
Absolutely. I've lost some.
Yeah.
Plenty of them.
And it's not an easy thing to deal with. However, if we cannot afford it as a society, if you have people who are in there and they know, if you're in a position that is paying you extremely well, and probably you're not even going into the office. Some of these people haven't been in their office for several years.
Well, paying you so well, you know damn well you ain't doing no job.
Yes.
You're sitting there for some people. 10 years ago, they were slim, beautiful, 140 pounds, looking good. 10 years later, you don't even need Goodyear blimp. There it is. They sit there, eat, and widen and widen and widen and widen. The health is going haywire. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, sort of, but not completely. I mean, it's just that the government decided during COVID, that people could work from home, and it kind of became an expectation. And then it became a part of the office culture. My understanding that there were complete offices that literally had maybe one or two people that are actually supposed to be staffed for several
So
hundred.
what happens to the people that spent all those years and all that money constructing those office buildings, a nice, comfortable place for you to stay and produce for the public?
I think that, all of us, I've never liked any employer I've ever worked for. And, if you work for the government, I've talked to a lot of people who work for the government. And I'll sometimes joke with them and I'll say, hey, what about this? And you'll just see them biting their tongue. We all do that.
You mean to tell me you've never worked with anybody you liked? Or is that what you mean?
Well, there's people that are in my life, and then there's people that are part of my job. That's a different relationship.
Yeah.
You don't want to be friends with the people that cut your check, because that can come
Could
back.
get them to cut some more, but not cut it down, but cut it up.
So I think that all of us have learned that you have to kind of be careful with your private life versus your professional.
But now, there is something that we're seeing. In reference to all the jobs that are being lost, states are picking them up. Instead of the state mayor employing his cousin, his wife, his unborn son or child, the state is now picking up those federal employees. That sounds to me like something good.
I think that that's one hand washing the other. I mean, if you're in politics and you let's face it, a lot of the people who that work in D.C. are members of the Democratic Party. I know that if you're involved in some of the political activities, there are jobs for you in the federal and even your state. So that's probably
Well, let's
people
say
calling in
the
favor.
the governor of Maryland, have announced that he is going to be picking up. I don't know how he's going to do that, but he said he announced he's going to be picking up some of the federal employees. The mayor of Baltimore City have picked up, of all people, Kamala Harris, special advisor. What a dummy! What is wrong with Scott?
That just-
I don't know where you're going to pick a loser. I mean, I'm not saying the brother's a loser, but you.
Well, apparently they're pretty bad at math because with the Kerwin bill and things like that, Maryland is supposed to, we're probably going to be bankrupt within about 2 years.
Already $4 billion. Can you imagine? You walked in there in office. I mean, Governor Moore, something wrong with you. You know, I don't, you know, I don't want to belittle the brother, you know, because you made it through the military ranks. Salute you. Now you become governor. Dum. But he gets there. There's $5 billion surplus by the past governor. You know, Hogan.
Yes. It was gone about a month later.
A month later, you're $4 billion on the hole. What the hell kind of stuff? Who the hell got the money?
I can't understand what's going on. I remember when they were talking about the Kerwin bill about 10 years ago, and that it was going to be more than we have ever spent in that area, and that we might not even have the money.
Well,
And they were depending at that time on a very generous federal system that was going to subsidize.
yeah, they were waiting for Kamala to
Yeah.
fill their pocket up.
And you know,
Well, it didn't happen.
yeah, if we were going to continue down the path of socialism, it was going to work. I mean, I hate to say it because
Wait a minute. What did you just call the Democratic Party? Did you guys hear that? I heard something else. Did you just call the Democratic Party a socialist?
well,
Socialism?
yeah, of course it is. If you look at the programs are a giveaway. It doesn't. What is that old expression? Give a man a fish and he'll eat for the day. Teach a man to fish and he will eat for a lifetime. The Democratic Party has
First,
just
he has to go fish for himself.
yeah, but you know, if you continue to subsidize programs, but you don't have the outcome of people with skills or with workable things that they can become independent. They don't want you independent. They want you uneducated and dependent on them. And
That's the Democratic Party. You're right.
Yeah.
That's what's happening. You know, we really appreciate some people that are subscribing to us. You know,
subscribe.
ring the bell.
Press the notification bell.
And when you getting ready to say something, you gotta watch this guy, bro.
Leave a comment.
And yeah, please leave your comments. We like that. New Harbor Studio is trying to do the best that it can for you. So, you know, give us a little backup, folks. It takes us a long way. It gets a lot more people to come and listen to us. And, you know, we just keep talking. That's why we call it, hey, let's talk about it. Something wrong? Let's talk about it. We got something going on? Let's talk about it. After we didn't talk about it, we got to do something about it. Well, now, okay. The job loss is going to keep on going. You're not going to stop it for now because the new administration wants to save money.
You know.
$337 trillion
Yeah.
dollars
I can't
in the
imagine.
hole. Good Lord have mercy. $337 trillion in the hole. We'll talk about that later on. Something wrong with our kids, man. I mean, COVID did a lot of damage to education. Well, you know, our kids, they can't even count money. They're out there shooting each other. They're doing all kinds of unnecessary things that an educated kid would not be doing.
Well, you've probably heard of the expression "the canary in the mine shaft." The black community, unfortunately.
Okay, I'm like you. I don't know what canary he's talking about.
Okay.
I don't know what mine shell.
Okay.
I'm a veteran. You talk about mines and shells, I'll start thinking some other ways.
There's an old, well, it comes from.
You know I know what you talk. But go ahead, let him tell us about it. Go ahead, Joel.
It comes from an old saying. Apparently, whenever they wanted to test what the coal miners were going down into the shaft,
Okay.
they wanted to know if it was poison gas.
Yeah.
Apparently, the metabolism of a canary
Yeah.
is very fast. So you take a canary down in the mine
Stick 'em
shaft,
in there.
and if the canary drops dead, you better run because that is poison.
Yeah.
So I was using that analogy to the black community, that we're like the canary in the mine shaft. What happens to us first eventually spreads to the rest of the population. You know,
We got to be first.
unfortunately, yeah, we're the most vulnerable. You know, we generally want everybody to like us, you know, stop being racist, and all those sort of distractions that stop us from actually being financially independent.
So we're canaries.
Yeah, you know, I think that that's the best way to put it. I mean, we've got, when you look at all the demographics, we've got all these issues which usually lead to dysfunctional households. Single parent households fail on a very large scale. Now, there's always that one person that'll say, I'm only a single parent, and I.
Keep it
That's-
closed.
It's not about one person. It's about the demographic group of people who are
Just
fail-
say no.
You know, a friend of mine in retail was telling me yesterday that the only people that come into his shop, and he gets a lot of immigrants from Africa, immigrants from Asia, immigrants from Latin America. They don't steal. But the white kids and the black kids, Americans, will come in there and steal soda and chips and stuff like that to the tune of thousands of dollars a month.
Got chewing gum hands.
Yeah, you know.
Butter.
So you have.
Know what chewing gum hands are, bro?
Yeah, it sticks to you.
You stick to you.
That's cute. I wish I could do that with money. I
No,
could
you-
some chewing gum money.
no, you don't.
But you know, it points to the issue of there was a time when people had good ethics, where you wouldn't do something just because it was wrong. And now there's this, you know, do what you can, make that money, get that money.
Well, could it be that you could also do something, even though it may be wrong, but it's so needed that is right?
Well, you know, if you're starving to death, if your life is in peril, you're going to do things that you wouldn't do. However,
There's consequences for whatever it is that you do.
they're closing down businesses throughout the country, and lo and behold, it just happens to be in our neighborhoods. And when you talk to the business owners who don't want to get political, they'll tell you they're being shoplifted into poverty. You know, and
Yeah.
you know, you can't walk into a store, loot it, and expect that store to continue to operate.
Yeah,
We've
yeah.
all seen the videos of our kids going in and looting the 7-Elevens and looting the jewelry stores and the purse stores and all that. It's our kids.
But it's not just kids. Adults are out there doing some stupid things, aren't they? I mean, adults are stealing.
Oh yeah, so
You know, you know who you are. You thief.
yep, and you're stealing with their kids too.
You know, teaching your kids how to steal.
You know, and nobody
Yeah.
wants to talk about it. But this is the canary in the mine shaft. Where do we go from here, where you have lost your moral compass, and you're now transmitting that down to the next generation?
Well, I don't know. Do you? That's where we need your comments. We need you to tell us, where do we go from here when it comes to our children, the education system? Where do we go? What's your recommendation? Why don't you tell us what you think? On our comments, send it to us. We got readers. They'll read your comments, and we'll talk about it. We'll keep on talking about it, because that's what we do best. We keep on talking. We older. I think between
Speak
you
for
and
yourself.
I. Huh?
I'm only 16.
You 16? Shoot, you know, you ain't, your toenail is 16. You heard about it, Joel. I know you heard about it. $70 billion of Social Security money vanished. No accountability. Nobody know where their money went to. A lot of speculation about some people 150 years old, 200 years old, 300 years old, still collecting Social Security. So when the new Social Security director was put on a hot seat and questioned about where's the money, who stole it, guess what she did?
What do you do?
She quit.
No.
She left. She said, hell no.
What kind of car was she driving?
Whatever it is, Uber, Muba, whatever it is, that's 70 billion,
Yeah.
not million. How do you justify that?
I'll tell you what I saw that I connect to all of this corruption, might as well call it what it is. They were looking at the top expensive neighborhoods in the United States. And lo and behold, we live in the area outside of Washington, D.C. And the number one neighborhood where where all these government workers live who are multimillionaires?
Imagine that.
How are you a multimillionaire on a government salary?
You could get elected as a congressman like Kwesi Mfume. We got to check his pocket. I'm calling it. Nancy Pelosi, all of y'all, Schiff.
Oh, damn.
All of your Congress people, every single one of y'all should be checked because you walk in there at $140,000 salary, and less than 2 years you're a multi-millionaire. How the hell you do that?
Well, the United States government has always criticized African and Asian nations for corruption, and yet we're apparently the biggest thieves of them all.
Well, outside of Ukraine, but we'll talk about that later. They corrupt as hell. At least that's what the Europeans are saying. Well, I know we would like to go into the battle between Donald Trump and that little weasel. Zelensky.
Oh, gosh.
How do you say his name again? I wrote it down someplace.
I don't know the
of
first
exactly.
name. I only know the last name is Zelensky, but
Yeah, there's a way to say his name.
Eastern European names.
They got a lot of skis in their name. Oh, here it is.
Must be from those mountains.
Okay, watch it now. Here we come. Volo, that is VOLO, DYMYR.
Vladimir.
Vladimir.
Yeah, that's okay.
Sounds,
Yeah, I think
Vladimir. Hey, Valet, what's up? Stand up. Okay, and his last name is Zelensky. It starts with a Z, like a zebra.
Oh, Jesus.
Zelen,
Yeah.
like Zelen.
Ukrainian zebras.
And a Ukrainian zebra just stepped out of the sky. Zelensky. Now you get a little picture there. So some people don't like him, and I don't. But we'll talk about that because we got a video to show you as to what's all this stuff going on about this White House war between Zelensky and the newly elected president of the United States, Donald J. Trump. What's all this war about? What's all this talk? Before we go there, how in the world do we restructure urban cities? I know some media doesn't look at it because they don't think that urban cities need to be restructured.
Whew. The infrastructure of this country is decades old. I mean, look at some of the piping they talk about in New York.
Busting everywhere in Maryland.
New York City, they said the average pipeline in New York City that removes waste and stuff like that is over 100 years old.
Damn, it's a lot of shit going down the pipeline.
Right. So, and
then you add some of them Arab ones.
I mean, all of us commute to work.
You didn't hear that, folks.
You're going down these streets, and you're lucky if you still have your hubcaps on your car by the time you reach work. Yet we are spending trillions of dollars in these other countries, and with these new revelations of USAID giving multi-million dollars for these frivolous programs, which they believe are actually CIA funded, which is a whole nother issue.
We got to really look into CIA You can't see? Something wrong. CIA. We'll talk about it as we go down. Especially, look, we're gonna talk about CIA and FBI, these agencies, next Sunday. So stay tuned on that, okay? What's going on? Who are these people? You know, what are they doing for America? What are they doing for us?
What have they done to us?
What have they done to us?
Hey, Janet.
Poor Janet. but hey, there's something going on in South Africa. What the hell? South Africa is poor Mandela. You put the man in jail for 27 years, bring him out, dub him president because he didn't really, I don't know. He didn't last too long as president. I don't know if he did one term.
I think what he did in the very, very beginning was very smart. You can't just do what they did in like Uganda, where they told all the Asians and the Europeans to get out and you had 24 hours.
Kenya and all that.
Well, they got out and they took the money, the whole economy.
Like a vacuum.
And then all of a sudden, people came back to work the next day and their money has no value and, the shops are locked.
So I know a lot of people, especially in urban cities, you don't keep up with what's going on. Outside of CNN and MSN stupid BC, outside of them, some of you look at Fox, some of you don't. But outside of that, you don't know what's going on in Africa. And you call yourself African American. Oh, they don't want to do that no more. They call themselves people of color.
No, that was the Democratic Party that did that.
They did that?
Yeah, we became their foster kids, and so they decided to go get kind of like a side chick, I guess you would call it, the Latinos and all the other brown people of the world, because we weren't doing it fast enough and good enough to keep them in power.
Oh, okay.
Remember when Obama came in and told black men to stand behind their black women? That went over well.
That Negro, man, I swear to God. With all your Obama, all y'all to love that Negro, he ain't did a damn thing for us anyhow. He hurt us more than he helped us.
I liked him. I'll be honest with you. I drank the punch.
I liked him like a foot pain.
I loved him. I just thought he was the greatest thing who was being, bombarded from all directions.
Boy, you better watch what you say when you call him the greatest thing. I mean, I still like apple pie and bread. I don't know.
I just liked him.
These people that cut that up. Oh yeah, Joel said,
I like the way
he was great.
People do what they do. There was something about him I liked, and I felt.
Name me one thing about that Negro you like. Name me one. I just want to know.
I think that he really had a presidential way about him. I think that
the swag walk.
That was part of it, but I admit it, I was just so happy to have somebody that looked like me.
All right. Okay.
I admit it.
I guess all of us kind of like that part.
Yeah. And he just seemed to be, he had that kind of, that kind of chemistry.
Yeah, but.
And I felt that a lot of the things he was being sabotaged on. I remember day one, I can't not remember, was it the Speaker of the House, when they said, what's it like to have the first black Democratic president in the White House, and I can't remember the exact quote. I could probably find it.
Where he said, "Don't call." Some people call him a colored one. They don't call him black.
No, but what they said was, he's going to be the first, and he's going to be the first one we're going to get rid of. In some or in those terms, I can't remember, and I think a lot of people out there might even remember that. And I was like, oh, okay, so we got to fight. And I think that for me, I always look back on that was that the Republican Party and the enemy party was sabotaging him left and right. That's what I think that I saw. But what caused my divorce from Obama was his statements about black men. That completely flipped. I sat there and...
It was in him all along.
Yeah, that's what I then realized.
It was real inside of him.
I said he would never do that with the Italians, the Muslims, all the other groups. But
the Irish, the Polish, he wouldn't do that.
What group on this planet are you going to tell them stand behind your woman? and have your women are smarter than you are, and you should stand behind. Why wasn't he telling us to come together as a community? You know, the men have a whole.
You're a nice guy, but you know, why doesn't he tell us to stand for our women to stand behind the man?
Yeah.
I mean, after all, Eddie Griffin said there was a man before the woman.
That killed it for me.
I love that show. You gotta like Eddie Griffin, boy. That boy is on the money, boy. Eddie Griffin is just. I mean, what's wrong with the men? See? And that's why the Democratic Party keep on gravitating towards the black women and using the black women against us.
Did you see that thing where they said that the majority of advanced degrees are now being held by black women?
What do you did here? Poof, welfare degrees. Here you go. And then all they want them to do is open your mouth and tell and say what we want you to say. And they're doing it. Fannie Willis. I mean, God, the list goes on, including that big old, ever seen that attorney general in New York? That woman is like about 7'8". She is a huge negress.
Negress.
I said it. Now I'm a New Yorker.
Negress.
Harlem born, so come on.
I love it.
She's big.
Yeah, she got coming
real big. And now Maryland has got one in the White House now in the Senate. What's that woman's name that just got elected senator? Ask who? Oh, did you?
No,
okay, I said ask. A-S-K. Y'all watch your mouth now. I didn't say nothing bad. Yeah, she's already. Just got into the Senate and started yakking off with her mouth, including that stupid little girl they got in Texas. I think it's in the 30th legislative district in Texas. I can't remember her name. Little young girl. I mean, the girl should be home, working close with her husband. I don't know if she's married, but the Democrats have got her. Every subject that comes up, here they go. Put the camera on her, give her the script, and that girl in Texas, it's a black girl. It's a black girl. I'm calling you out. You are stupid. Real stupid. First of all, she's young. Couldn't be no more than about, oh, good Lord, maybe 30. Man, hell, a lot of you got socks older than she is.
But my son's single, so maybe hook it up.
Oh no, you don't want to mess with that woman. That woman will sell your son right out.
You could settle out of court.
I'm telling you, be out there holding.
Kill him dead.
Kill that woman. No, that woman in Texas. I'm calling you out. I may not know your name right now. I remember your name. But by next week, we'll be talking about you, especially all the black women out there. Instead of helping out your husband, instead of helping out children, you out there doing a whole lot of dumb stuff.
Oh, no.
Real dumb. But we thank you all. We're going to move on. Move on to urban. Abortion is still an issue, but not a whole lot of big issue. But I'd like to come back to one of your beautiful plays. One of you think that, that's the woman. Yeah, Jasmine Crockett. What kind of damn name is a Crockett?
Okay.
Ain't that some kind of...
Davy Crockett?
Baby Crockett, David Crockett. Yeah, Jasmine, I'm calling you out. My name is Chief OBDK. Come on. You can call me out, too. I'll call you out. You're a little stupid little girl.
Ooh,
some little girls are stupid.
You're going to get jumped.
Bring it on. Let her come on. She just got into Congress. And they told her everything that Donald Trump says, go after it. Here's the script. Say this. Say that.
She's going to be a multimillionaire next year.
Better watch her. There's a lot of women in jail waiting for your kind. I can't stand that kind of people. Joel is like me, being critical of you every time. Anytime that you say something, being critical. You being critical, huh?
But I'm in therapy for it, so.
You in therapy? She should be in therapy.
Oh.
Huh? Now Crockett girl.
Davy Crockett.
Yeah, baby Crockett. She's a baby one. Dumb woman. What a dumb woman, I know. Abortion issue is still one of those issues. 20 million black little kids have been killed. Okay, by next week we'll hint a little bit, give you statistics on where that information came from. But before we go on to, I still want to thank people for subscribing.
Yep. Thank you for subscribe, press the notification bell, and leave a comment.
The world likes to read a lot of your comments. I do too. And the name of our show, in case you don't know, is simply www.hey-let's-talk-about-it.
.com.
Got it? .com?
Yep, you have to put the .com on ours.
Okay.
We're old school.
So there's a lot of stuff going on in South Africa. Let me get back to that because it's a land issue. If I understand it clearly, I'm not too sure if I do. Maybe you can clarify it for me. The Dutch went to South African land, took over the country, called themselves Afrikaners.
Illegal immigrants.
They were illegal immigrants. They were crooks. Well, anyway, that's douche people. That's what that boy's name is again. What's his name? The boy that is trying to save our money for us?
Elon Musk.
Elon Musk.
Doge.
Doge. Elon, your people. Anyway,
Oh.
I like you now. Don't get me wrong.
He left because he didn't want to be in the army, though.
Well, is that why he left?
That's what he claims, yeah.
Okay. I don't, some people do that. I'm a vet.
But he was going to be in the apartheid army.
Yeah. Or apartheid was beat. It's a simple thing, folks. You guys remember it. Some of you. Apart. White on this side, black on this side. We experienced it in Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, North Carolina. We had the same thing. Water fountain for this part, water fountain for that. We know what the environment that it came from, right?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So now, the black South Africans want their land back.
Well, yeah. So here's the problem. It's kind of like anything else. You have an invasive species who has taken over the land and
Your nest.
yes. So the question is, if they leave, do they have the right to take the economy along with them? And that's what has happened when you've had this mass exodus. In my opinion, and I'm not South African, never even been to the country, but here's the economic truth, kind of like what's happening with the Ukraine. You have to look at the math. If you're having issues with the majority of the country, I think was it 43 million versus the 12 million.
Two people, they don't need a whole lot.
Yes.
They can destroy a whole damn country with just a few.
Well, yeah, to get all the military weapons and hardware. But the issue is this: if you're going to remove an element from your society, just like they're saying with the illegal immigrants here, if you remove, who's going to be the ones that does all the picking of the vegetables and, the road crews and all these sort of things, and so when you remove a group of people, you are going to have some problems economically. That's just fact.
Just the way it is.
Except for black Americans.
Oh, that's cold. Except for the black Americans.
Yeah, sports.
Where we going, But it's a conflict about whose land is it. The invaders say it's their land because they've been there. And the people that were there all along, like the Indians were here, the story keep on going back and forth.
Indigenous.
And, yeah, that's what they called. But you heard that, indigenous. But still, the issue is volatile. It doesn't look good, and it could lead to what is going on now in Congo. Congo got a war. Africa is exploding everywhere. War. But we're going to come back and really go into this Zelensky, Trump, some people call it a different kind of war, but it's war and peace.
It's all related.
So give us a few minutes, subscribe,
press the notification bell,
and write your comments. So this is Chief Obidike here at New Harbor Studio.
and press like.
Oh, don't forget to like. Please like us. We all right. We're nice people.
I am.
Joel is nice. I got my niceties too.
He has to take his medicine.
I took it too. Because if you don't take your medicine, you're in trouble. The pharmaceutical company ain't gonna make no money.
Oh yeah.
CVS ain't gonna sell you nothing.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Walgreens. Boy, we're in trouble. Everywhere. So Joel, let's take a break and come right back. What do you think about that, huh? And then we'll go into this most recent thing that is going on in Washington, D.C. Zelensky visits America. And when he came here, he ran into 2.0 Donald Trump. Hello. We'll be right back, folks. We'll be right back. Don't go too far. New Harbor Studio is back with you. Hello, everybody, no matter where you are, especially you Europeans. I wish that we can speak Slovakian and all that, but we don't. Here we go. We're going to take you to a video that really explains a little bit of what the conflict is, what started it between Russia and Ukraine. And then we're going to come back and hopefully you will have your comments. Be nice. Don't get foolish. People's lives are at stake. So let's go to the videotape and get it on.
Jeffrey Sachs is about to give a talk here in the European Parliament.
What was Putin's intention in the war? Not the propaganda that's written about this. Oh, that they failed and he was going to take over Ukraine. The idea was to keep NATO, and what is NATO? It's the United States, off of Russia's border. No more, no less. When the Soviet Union ended in 1991, and an agreement was made that NATO will not move 1 inch eastward. Now, what happened after 1991, the United States decided there would be no end to eastward enlargement of NATO. And the decision was taken formally in 1994. When President Clinton signed off on NATO enlargement to the east, all the way to Ukraine and into Georgia. So the NATO enlargement, as you know, started in 1999 with Hungary, Poland, and the Czech Republic. And Russia was extremely unhappy about it, but these were countries still far from the border. So the next round of NATO enlargement came in 2004. With the 3 Baltic states, Romania, Bulgaria, Slovenia, and Slovakia. At this point, Russia was pretty damn upset. So as everybody recalls, in 2007, President Putin said, stop, enough. And of course, what that meant was in 2008, the United States jammed down Europe's throat enlargement of NATO to Ukraine and to Georgia. This is right up against Russia. And Russia protested because if Russia decided to have a military base on the Rio Grande or the Canadian border, not only would the United States freak out, we'd have war within about 10 minutes. And a month later, a war broke out. That gets Georgia destroyed. And starting in 2010, the U.S. put in Aegis missile systems in Poland and then in Romania. And Russia doesn't like that. In 2010, Viktor Yanukovych was elected on the platform of neutrality. Russia had no territorial interests or designs in Ukraine at all. What Russia was negotiating was a 25-year lease for Sevastopol naval base. That's it. Not for Crimea, not for the Donbass, nothing. In 2014, the U.S. worked actively to overthrow Yanukovych. Everybody knows the phone call by my Columbia University colleague, Victoria Nuland, and the U.S. Ambassador Peter Piot. Listen to it. It's fascinating.
I don't think Cleach should go into the government. I don't think it's necessary. I don't think it's a good idea. I think Yats is the guy who's got the economic experience, the governing experience, and, fuck the EU.
No, exactly. And I think we've got to do something to make.
You don't get better evidence. Then came Minsk, and especially Minsk II. It said there should be autonomy for the Russian-speaking regions in the east of Ukraine. It was supported unanimously by the UN Security Council. The United States and Ukraine decided it was not to be enforced. There were many thousands of deaths in the shelling by Ukraine in the Donbass. And one of the issues on the table in December 2021, January 2022, was, does the United States claim the right to put missile systems in Ukraine? And Blinken told Lavrov in January 2022, the United States reserves the right to put missile systems wherever it wants. So the war started. What was Putin's intention in the war? It was to force Zelensky to negotiate neutrality. And that happened within 7 days of the start of the invasion. Ukraine walked away unilaterally from a near agreement. Why? Because the United States told them to. The idea was that there would be Ukraine, Romania, Bulgaria, Turkey, and Georgia that would deprive Russia of any international status by blocking the Black Sea. And the American senators, who are as nasty and cynical and corrupt as imaginable, say this is wonderful expenditure of our money because no Americans are dying. It's the pure proxy war. And since the U.S. talked the negotiators away from the table, about 1 million Ukrainians have died or been severely wounded.
This is such a terrible, terrible reason why there is a demand. It's a reason why there's a demand for peace. Joel, we know now why. Historically. Now you guys have seen it everywhere. Donald Trump versus Zelensky at the White House. It just doesn't make any sense. You invite this guy to come over and let's talk peace. The guy comes in here, wants to talk about more war. Billions and billions of dollars has been sent and given to this man by former president. The man even got a whole mansion or so in Miami. Ooh. I mean, all that money, instead of going for the war, hundreds of thousands of his people are being killed. Donald Trump said, stop. That's enough. Why will he not stop, Joel? Why does he not want to stop this war?
Gosh, you know what? That is an excellent question. I don't really have very many Ukrainian friends, so I don't have a intimate understanding other than the whole war was really kind of because the United States and NATO lied to the Russians.
Under Bill Clinton, I want to make sure you understand that.
The history of Russia, my understanding is they've been invaded by Western nations 11 times in their history. And they have lost millions of people. So they got PTSD when it comes to the West. They don't trust the West, and they think that the West is going to come over the Caucasus Mountains and conquer them someday.
Caucasus Mountains?
Mountains.
Caucasus.
Yeah, whatever.
Watch yourself.
Yeah. Wow, you're funny. So that being said, it's kind of like any group that's been lied to 11 times. What's your credibility? Zero. So the West, in their most vulnerable state, the Soviet Union crashed. Everything is in chaos. And the West said, hey, we're not going to be a threat to you. Get your house in order. NATO is going to stay right here on our side, and you deal with all your former republics, and you guys work it out. And then they said, cool. And they signed they signed a contract. They signed a treaty.
A treaty.
And we lied, and then all of a sudden you have all these countries that are being allied with our side, and the Russians are sitting there going, You lied to us. And they're coming with guns.
So, but here it is. Everybody now knows. That's how we see it. That's how it's been coming out for the past 3 years. Who invaded? Who started the war that now Donald Trump is asking Ukraine to stop?
The war started back in the 90s.
Yeah,
when
exactly.
we set up a treaty, and then we violated that treaty all the way up to their front door.
Okay. So now you've lost millions of people. You're losing your cities. You're losing an awful lot. So it's time to stop the war.
Sue for peace, yeah.
Now, Europeans that I know don't like Ukrainians. Super corrupt. Really the greatest corrupt people in the entire NATO world, in the entire, they're just corrupt. So now I was here yesterday.
You don't think they stole all that money we sent them, do you?
Well, I'm telling you, I bet you there's somebody out there in Ukraine rich. Well, we over here in the United States can't even get good groceries. You know, leftover groceries we're buying.
I got some eggs.
You got some eggs, yeah. Well, I hear some people are using the eggs instead of money now to buy things. But the point is, you know, there's a book that I had during graduate school, and I still have that book. Really still.
You can read?
Oh, I can read, yeah, you know. Sometimes I can read. But how do you get to I don't want to give this guy any credibility for his book, but because he never gave me permission to do it. But it's if you ever want to buy the book, it's called Getting to Yes. That's all the United States wants to do now. Get to yes. This guy came in here, messed himself up, and after he messed himself up, and it's like a chihuahua going into the pits of some bulldogs, and he got bit, he got smacked, he got called all kinds of names. I don't care what Democrats are saying. Oh, you should be nice to him. You're a lying son of a. You know, you guys did wrong by Ukrainians. You know, the Democrats are the ones that messed him up. So take a look at what happened later on during the debate between Donald Trump and Zelensky.
I was suspicious when USAID officials who were apparently sided with the Democrats, and they did not want those books published. They don't want you to see where the money was going. And the Democrats were standing out there saying, you can't go into this building, and this is all top secret.
Oh, yeah. Well, with that little stupid woman, old 78-year-old woman in California. You know, she's just Maxine Waters.
Yeah.
That boy, she got a lot of money, man. You know that?
No, how did she become a multimillionaire on the
She
government
stole
salary?
it probably, you know.
No, I don't believe it.
No, she's like that young cricket or cracket or whatever that girl's name is. You know, but anyway, what is going to happen now with Zelensky and the war? Zelensky is begging to come back, to renegotiate, to talk back. But Donald Trump said it this morning. Look, ain't no talking. I don't want to do any more yakety yak, don't come back. Donald Trump said, no, let me talk to my people. I got some other things to do. You want to go ahead and fight? Go ahead and fight. You're not going to win without us.
Yeah,
so
true.
You don't want to talk? You got some people out here giving you some bad advice. You know, peace is the hardest part of human relationships.
Yes.
War is easy to start.
Hard to stop.
Easy
to start and hard to stop.
Yeah, easier to start and hard to stop. Like the Igbo people. My Igbo people, I love you. I love you. From here to here to here. I love you. But if you would have tried peace with that Nigerian government and all the people and the British people, if you would have tried peace, if you would have worked with peace, trying to stop the war, killing, murdering, we would have never lost 3 million people.
3 million.
children, mama, papa, all of them. If you would have tried peace, that's what Donald Trump is trying to do now. Try peace, not war. That little weasel don't want peace.
Well, Zelensky, I remember when the war first started and everyone was pumped up to be on the sides of the Ukrainians. I remember them saying, in a favorable light, that that was what they liked about him, his stubbornness and his focus.
He's focused.
Now that's that same characteristic everybody is now saying is
Because human beings' lives are being lost.
yes.
Mothers and fathers in Ukraine,
He
really grandma, Ukrainian grandmothers. You know what I don't like about this Zelensky guy? This guy's an actor. He's not a professional in terms of a lawyer or doctor or engineer. He's an actor.
Ronald Reagan was an actor.
Ronald Reagan he messed up too, didn't he? You know, he messed up badly. Stop. Look, all we Americans got to do is stop electing these people from Hollywood.
Well, he helped us break the Soviet Union.
Who was Zelensky?
No, Ronald Reagan. But that's a
Oh, Ronald, that's a whole nother story. We'll talk about that later. But Joel, you know, Zelensky wants to come back. Donald Trump says, "Look, I got things to do in Mar-a-Lago. You want to go ahead on? You don't want to talk? Talk to." In fact, what he told him
Talk
this
to the
morning,
hand.
huh?
Talk to the hand.
Talk to the hand. With the front hand or the back hand?
Probably both.
You know, because you ain't serious. Zelensky, you're not serious.
Wear a suit.
You know, and wear some damn clothes. Put a tie on. This is the United States of America. We got dignity. You out here coming in there with some damn jeans and stuff, you know, at the White House. I don't know why Donald Trump, you know, Mr. President, sometimes somebody got to talk to you on the sideline. Why you let these people in the White House? You know, a lot of black people worked hard to build that White House. I bet if it was a black house, Zelensky wouldn't come in there.
That's another generation.
Oh, that's another one. I ain't know. Well, Elon Musk is still doing a good job. The immigration thing is still ongoing. Come on up, Joe.
Well, the immigration.
Come on up. Tell me what you think.
The immigration numbers I understand now are their goal is 1 million illegals will be deported per year. So with the
I think it's going to be more.
well, if they stick to that goal, it's going to take 20 years.
No, it wouldn't be that. I think it's going to be more. I think a lot of people are just going to leave the country. Other countries are doing it. Other countries are saying, look, if you don't belong here, and that's what the Igbo people should be telling to the Nigerian government, the Fulani people. If you're not from Igbo land, get the hell out. Go back to your own family.
Well, the problem was the illegal immigrants were being used by one political party to gain influence. That's what the whole issue was.
Amen.
You're literally bringing in a group of people and you're giving them, incredible sums of money,
Unbelievable sums of money.
and that did not go well.
So we try to come up with a lot of things to talk about, folks. But, we're going to talk about the Marshall Plan. We're going to talk about later on in the next Sunday. We'll try our best to come. This is March, and it's going to be cold. So get yourself ready.
March comes in like a lion and out like a lamb.
Well, I don't want to eat no lion, but I will chop on some damn lamb, though. Stuff is good. There's one more thing I just wanted to say before we go. We stop the killing. That's all that we don't want to go to war for you. Americans don't want to fight for you. If Europeans want to go and fight for you, let them. London, Denmark, Sweden, you all want to go to war? Go ahead. Pay for it yourself. Makes sense to me. We're in trillions in debt, so we got no. We don't want to go to war. Get that message straight to your head. We don't want a war. As a Vietnam veteran, as a war veteran, you don't want to be part of that. We want peace. It'd be so nice to have peace. It's a wonderful thing, isn't it?
It's not in the nature of human beings to be peaceful for very long.
Well, we better find a way to find a peaceful way of life. You know, we got the right man now who wants to negotiate, deal, whatever he has to do so that America can have a sense of tranquility, a sense of peace. And Igbo people should be doing the same thing. I keep coming to my Igbo, I love them.
My understanding is we're about to turn 250. Is that the number?
Yeah, that's the number.
And we've only been at peace in this country for 20 of those years.
Ain't that a blip? Man, that's a blip.
We love war.
No, we don't. But somebody do.
We make money.
Make money. I know money, war is money. But here, let me leave that alone. We'll hit some more because I'm sure between now and next Sunday, maybe Donald Trump will have a change of heart and let him come in through the back door.
Back door.
Zelensky don't come back in the front door no more. Send him through the back door.
No diddy.
No diddy. Oh, shit. Something wrong with you. But hey,
I'm damaged.
Joel, before we go, and we're really finished. Thank you all for being with us. Come back. We love you very much. Send us your text, whatever you have to do. But like us, we're likable people. We're talking. At least we're talking. We're saying something. Advice to Mr. President. Continue your journey. Continue the mandate. From us, here at New Harbor Studio, we send you this advice, Mr. President. You're doing the right thing. Anybody who wants to cry about, oh, he shouldn't have spanked them, slapped them, caught them out, let Vance loose. Woo, JD is bad, boy. JD is bad. JD let loose on that boy. We understand. Well done, JD Vance, Mr. Vice President. Sorry about that. You did well. So please, Mr. President, continue the journey. We in America, we love you. We black people, most of us love you. We don't want. We're praying for you to continue doing the work. Just continue looking for peace. We need peace. Jesus Christ, we're already in pieces. We need peace. Urban city, we need peace. The African American community, we need peace. Africa, we need peace. We're almost ready to go. There's only one last thing. Justin Tucker. Those of you who love football, what in the world happened to Justin Tucker? Justin Tucker got 15 women coming after him for what? Sexual harassment? Mm-hmm. Boy, that boy kicked more than a football.
Well, apparently he took the massage to a different level.
My God. So the Ravens are now back in the hole.
Literally.
Oh my God. First it was that, what's that little boy's name, 27?
Depends on which kind of hole you're talking about.
Oh, no. You remember number 27 who took Ravens to the Super Bowl? And then he beat up his wife in the elevator.
Oh, yeah.
You remember him. He's gone. And now Justin Tucker, the only thing I can say for Justin Tucker and the Ravens, get rid of him.
Maybe that was a setup. Maybe that's how they're going to get rid of him.
But these were Asian women.
Maybe the administration of
football.
Maybe they said, well,
NFL set him up.
Yeah, maybe.
Well,
it's an easy way to negotiate.
Yeah, well, let him go. He's a good. Ladies and gentlemen, we thank you all so much for being with us. And I'm tired of him anyway. They keep shortening the field so he can kick long field goals. Something's messed up about football that I'm not liking. But anyway, thank you all so much for being with us. Joel, God bless you, my brother.
You as well.
This is Chief OBDK, New Harbor Studio. Hey, let's talk about it. It's See you the next time. God bless all of you. Take good care. Peace.
Love
Peace
and
soul. Peace, love, and soul.